Have you ever caught yourself making a choice and wondered, did I really choose this? Or was it chosen for me? What if I told you that almost everything running through your mind, your decisions, your desires, even your deepest fears, is quietly controlled by invisible patterns you didn't even know existed? The job you feel stuck in, the relationships that drain you, the goals that never seem to materialize, they might not be your failures at all. They might just be the result of your mind being manipulated since the day you were born. And right now, most adults go through life blind to these hidden forces, believing they are free, when in reality they are prisoners of their own thoughts. You think you're in control of your life? Think again. Every decision you've ever praised yourself for making, your career path, your relationships, even the hobbies you swear define you, may not be yours at all. From the moment you wake up, unseen forces are nudging you, shaping your desires, twisting your thoughts, and feeding your fears. Your mind is a puppet theater, and you are not the puppeteer. You've spent years believing you made rational choices, yet look closer. Why do you chase certain goals while ignoring others? Why do patterns repeat no matter how hard you try to break them? This isn't coincidence. It's conditioning, social pressure, and subtle manipulation working together to guide your life without your permission. Here's the frightening part: most adults never realize it. You might think you're rebelling against the system, but in reality, the system designed your rebellion. Your free will is a carefully crafted illusion, and the more you think you're making independent choices, the deeper the invisible chains sink into your mind. And the worst? Once you start seeing the patterns controlling you, there's no turning back. Every choice, every impulse, every fear suddenly looks different. And suddenly you realize how little of your life was truly yours. Did you know the thoughts and fears you carry today were often planted decades ago, long before you even understood the world? From the way your parents reacted to your mistakes, to the subtle approval or judgment you received at school, every interaction carved invisible grooves in your mind. These grooves dictate how you respond to people, situations, and even your own ambitions without you ever realizing it. Why do certain fears still haunt you, even though logically you know they're irrational? Why do patterns of self-doubt, insecurity, and overthinking repeat endlessly, no matter how much you try to change? It's because your mind learned these responses in childhood, and your adult brain still obeys them like reflexes. Here's the chilling truth: you may be living in an adult body, but in many ways your reactions are still governed by the fears, validations, and traumas of your younger self. Every doubt, every hesitation, every "I can't" moment, it's not really you. It's the child inside you calling the shots, and most adults never notice it. The scary part? This programming is invisible, yet powerful enough to shape your career choices, relationships, and even your sense of self-worth. Until you become aware of it, you're simply a passenger in a life someone or something else has been quietly steering. Have you ever noticed how easily your opinions, tastes, or even beliefs shift when you're around certain people? That's not a coincidence. It's the mind's silent obedience to the herd. Humans are wired to follow, to imitate, to seek approval. And in adulthood, this need becomes even more dangerous. Suddenly, your choices, what you wear, who you date, what you value, aren't really yours. They're echoes of what society tells you is normal or acceptable. Why do you fear being alone in your opinions? Why does scrolling through social media leave you anxious, insecure, or jealous? The answer is simple. The herd is in control, and you've been trained to obey without noticing. The opinions of friends, colleagues, and strangers online act like invisible chains, pulling your thoughts in directions you think are your own. The darkest part? Most adults live their entire lives chasing approval, terrified of judgment, convinced they are making independent decisions, while all along, their choices have been subtly dictated by others. And the more you try to stand out, the more the herd pushes back, reinforcing the patterns you didn't even know existed. Ask yourself this: if everyone around you is thinking the same way, who is really thinking for you? And more importantly, how much of your life is truly yours to live? Do you ever wonder why certain ideas, fears, or desires keep replaying in your mind, like a song stuck on repeat? It's not an accident. Media, TV, news, social platforms, even casual conversations feeds your brain the same messages over and over until they become truth. You don't notice it, but repetition bypasses logic and embeds itself straight into your subconscious. Why do you panic over some stories but ignore others? Why do you crave trends, lifestyles, or products that you barely need? It's because your mind has been conditioned to obey patterns, to absorb what is repeated, and to treat it as reality. Even your deepest beliefs about success, love, and what it means to be happy can be manipulated without you realizing it. The terrifying part? Most adults think they are immune, that they are too smart to be influenced. But the more subtle the repetition, the harder it is to resist. And by the time you notice, your choices, fears, and desires have already been shaped. Not by you, but by the relentless, invisible flow of information around you. Ask yourself, if your thoughts can be programmed by repetition, how much of what you believe is really yours? And how much of your life is being quietly directed by forces you can't even see? Have you ever acted on impulse and later wondered, why did I do that? That wasn't a lapse in judgment. It was your emotions hijacking your logic. Fear, desire, anger, and the craving for validation are powerful levers, silently pulling the strings of your mind. In adulthood, these triggers become even more dangerous because your decisions carry weight. Your career, your relationships, your reputation, and yet they are often made in the grip of invisible emotional puppeteers. Why do you stay in toxic relationships, overspend, or chase goals that never satisfy you? Why do you cave to pressure even when you know better? Every reaction you have is filtered through emotions that bypass rational thought. And the scariest part, most adults don't even realize it's happening. They think they are in control, making smart choices, while their feelings quietly dictate the outcome. The darker truth? These emotional triggers have been exploited since childhood, reinforced by social norms, repetition, and personal experiences. You aren't weak. You've been systematically conditioned to obey the fastest, most primal signals in your brain. And until you recognize these triggers, your life will continue to be directed, not by reason, but by the silent, unrelenting forces of emotion. Ask yourself, how many of your decisions were ever truly yours? And how much of your life is just a series of emotional reactions you barely notice? Have you ever felt stuck in a life you don't love, but couldn't bring yourself to change it? That's the comfort trap at work. Your brain craves familiarity, even if it's painful, because the unknown feels far more dangerous than the suffering you already know. And in adulthood, this trap becomes a cage. You stay in jobs that drain you, relationships that hurt you, routines that numb you, all because the risk of change feels like a threat to your survival. Why do people stay in toxic environments, repeating the same mistakes over and over? Why does fear of failure paralyze even the most capable adults? Your brain has been wired to protect you from uncertainty, and it does this by convincing you that familiarity, even suffering, is safer than freedom. The patterns controlling your mind are so deep that stepping out of them triggers anxiety, guilt, and doubt, making you think you are weak or incapable. The frightening truth? The comfort trap is invisible, yet it controls almost every major decision in your life. Your brain prefers pain. It knows to potential happiness it can't guarantee. And until you confront this trap, you will keep circling the same patterns, believing you are making choices, while all along your life is being dictated by the safest option your mind can imagine. Ask yourself, how much of your safe life is really freedom? And how much of it is just the chains of comfort keeping you exactly where you are? What if I told you that the first step to breaking free from all these hidden forces is terrifyingly simple, and yet almost no one ever takes it? Awareness, seeing the patterns that control your mind, recognizing the invisible chains that dictate your choices, and finally admitting that much of your life has been guided without your permission. But here's the chilling part. Once you see it, there's no going back. Every decision you make afterward feels different. Every fear, every insecurity, every impulse is exposed for what it really is. A programmed response, a manipulation, a trap. Most adults never reach this point because the truth is uncomfortable. It forces you to question everything. Your relationships, your ambitions, your beliefs, even your sense of self. The awakening is both terrifying and exhilarating. Terrifying because it reveals how little control you've truly had. Exhilarating because for the first time, you see a path to reclaim it. And yet, this is only the beginning. Awareness alone doesn't free you. It's the key that unlocks the door. What lies beyond it is something most people aren't ready to face. Ask yourself, are you ready to see the patterns controlling you? Or will you remain blind, letting the invisible forces continue to steer your life while you convince yourself it's all your own choice?